Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are going to begin by singing together, Gather the Spirit. It's number 347. Please rise in body and spirit wherever you are joining us, and let us gather the Spirit. There is only one way I can welcome you this morning, and that is, may the 4th be with you. We gather together as an alliance of good hearts, gathering together the seeds of a rebellion against all that would alienate us from one another, organizing against empires of fear that would tell us there is no hope, building communities of joyful resistance to hate and despair, and learning to use the force of love that is at the center of all that we do. Welcome to the Unitarian Society of Santa Barbara. Welcome into this loving community of seekers where we strive to live with integrity, nurture wonder, and inspire the actions that transform us and transform the world. I'm the Reverend Julia Hamilton. I use she, her pronouns, and I am delighted to be here this morning with you and with our ministerial intern, Carolyn Bjerke, who will be giving the sermon this morning. And I want to say, we are coming to the end of Carolyn's internship with us here at the end of June. And there'll be information about how we're going to celebrate that together and how we are going to learn about the next steps she's going to be taking on her path to ministry. But I want to say it is such a delight to be able to be here this morning and listen to her wise words as she grows into this work of ministry with us. if you are joining us or visiting with us this morning for the first time, whether you are here in our physical sanctuary or joining us online in our online sanctuary. We would love to get to know you. There is a connection card you can pick up at our welcome table or sign in. There's a link on a button above if you're joining us online. If you're joining us online also, you can sign your name into the chat. It's like putting on your name tag in our virtual sanctuary so we can say hello to you there. We would love to get to know you and answer any questions you might have about this congregation and how to get connected here. And as always, if you've been attending for a while and you feel like this is your spiritual home, this is your community of hope, we would love to welcome you into membership with the congregation. Any Sunday you are ready, you can find Angie by the membership table with the book, and we are ready to welcome you and help you take your next steps with this community. There are so many things going on beyond Sunday morning here in the congregation. I encourage everyone to take a look at that insert in your order of service or read your Friday email. It has all kinds of invitations to connect and do the work of building a more loving world. I want to highlight just a couple of them. We do have a Taizé service coming up on the evening of May 13th at 6 p.m. So if you've been meaning to come and try out one of our evening contemplative services of song and meditation, I encourage you. It's a great breath in midweek, a chance to reground and reconnect, and so delighted to have Carolyn leading us in those. We also have opportunities for folks to help out on Sunday morning. Sunday morning happens because of the volunteers from this congregation that greet and serve coffee and help greet one another online. So if you think maybe once a month you could help out, keep Sundays welcoming for everyone, please talk to Angie and she can help you find a way to be of service in this community. And finally, I want to highlight that this Sunday, here in person and online on Wednesday, our Anti-Racism Commission is going to be continuing the community conversations about collective resilience. How do we participate in resistance to authoritarian conditions? Very important conversations about where we are headed as a community. So if you want to join them after service in Parish Hall today or sign up for the online Zoom conversation on Wednesday, we would love to hear from you. I invite you now to take a breath, to settle yourself wherever you are. Allow yourself to be fully present to this moment, this gathered community, as we ring our bell and let the sound connect us.
Our chalice lighting this morning is inspired by the words of Patrick O. Tuama. We light this flame for the truth of this moment, not what was, not what might be, but here. Here may shimmer with joy or ache with sorrow, and here may hold delight and despair. And still here is holy, here is real, here is enough. To turn away is to harden the heart, so we turn toward this moment and we say hello to here and to the love that holds us and calls us on. Each Sunday morning we share a story of something good that is happening in the world. This week we have a follow-up to a story Reverend Julia shared 2 weeks ago about Mohsen Madwi, a Palestinian student at Columbia University and peace activist who was detained by ICE despite holding a green card. We are overjoyed to share that Mohsen has been released from detention and is now home, at least for the time being, as he waits for his immigration hearing. His Unitarian Universalist congregation in Vermont and many others across the country continue to stand by him, offering housing, legal support, and fierce love. At Mohsen's request, when he walked out of the courthouse, his community gathered around him and sang "Spirit of Life," and we shall overcome. It was a moment of joy, relief, and steadfast hope, and a reminder that collective care and courageous witness can truly make a difference.
Is the first Sunday of May, which means this is the time when we get to celebrate the May birthdays and send some love to all of you who have a birthday this month. So if you have a May birthday and want to come up and join us, you get a birthday star sticker from Charla and lots of good wishes. And if you are joining us online and you want to type into the chat that it's your birthday, we would love to extend our care to you as well. And I'm going to pass this microphone down the row here. And if you want to say your name and the day that you are celebrating your birthday, and if you want to tell us how old you are, you can, but that is always optional. We love you at any age. So come on up, all you May birthdays, and let us take a moment to celebrate together. I'm going to start with you, Suzanne.
Oh, hi. Thank you. In 1935, on May 4th, I was born, and it was my father's birthday. He said it was the only thing he couldn't exchange. My name is Suzanne Fairley. I'm 90 years old today.
I'm Rolf Brinkman, and I'll be 80 on the 18th of this month. Good morning.
What's your name?
Kaya,
How old are you going to be?
6,
What day? On what day?
May 25th.
Yay. May what? May 25th.
All right, Kaya. I'm Kathleen, and my birthday is May 12th, and I'll be the magic 77.
My name is Clark Lane. I will be turning 9, and my birthday is today. My name is Theo Lane, and I will be turning 9 as well. Today.
I'm Sue Fisher, and I'm 89, I think.
I'm Sue Hebert, and on May 25th, I will be 90.
I'm Matthew Grissett, and on May 26th, I will turn 33.
I'm Ellen Anderson, and I will be 73 on May 10th.
I'm Joe Magistad, and on May 17th, I'll be 95.
So let us all take a moment and send all of our love and goodwill to these May birthdays and all of the May birthdays that will be celebrated this month. May this year unfold for you with places where your spirit can grow wiser, your mind can be opened to the wonder of the world, your heart can be opened to the compassion of the world. May you have friends to laugh with you in the good times and cry with you in the hard times. The world is a richer place because you are in it. Happy birthday.
And now, please rise in body or spirit and join in singing We Would Be One.
As now we join in singing. My name is Charla Bragante. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Director of Religious Exploration around here, and it is my pleasure to invite all the kids to come forward for a story and be right on the rug there. And we might even need a couple of extra helpers, so be at the ready. Everybody sit on the rug today. That would be so great. Thanks. So be at the ready. We may need a few more helpers today, but welcome and happy birthday to Clark and Theo and almost to Kaya. Happy birthday. Lots of May babies, Justine.
And I get to sit on the rug too.
Yeah.
How fun.
So I don't know if you all know Justine, but this is Justine. Justine, these are the kids.
Happy birthday to those of you having birthdays, and I love your pants. That ruffle, oh, that's beautiful.
So Justine, I understand that you're a pagan.
I am, Charla.
Can you tell us what a pagan is?
Well, a pagan is someone who worships nature and the goddess and the world, and pagans started a long time ago, before Christianity. And so I have Irish ancestry, so I identify with the Celtic pagan path. So yeah, that's a little bit about it.
Yeah, have you guys heard of pagans before? Oh, you're learning things
All right,
today.
we're
Great.
learning something today.
Well, are there holidays that pagans celebrate?
Yeah, for sure. Some of them line up with our kind of modern holidays. Like, for example, there's one that comes at the end of October. What's a holiday that we celebrate at the end of October? Halloween, yeah. So there's a holiday called Samhain, that's the pagan origin that now has become Halloween. And so we have Beltane today. So on the wheel of the year...
Wait, can I stop you? Justine, what's the wheel of the year?
Oh, okay, it's kind of like the pagan calendar. So picture you just have a big wheel and the holidays are set around it. So as the wheel turns, right, as time goes on, the different holidays come up on the wheel.
Oh, okay. Well, and you said that today is
Beltane? We're celebrating Beltane
well, not
today.
Right? It was May 1st.
It was May
right?
1st. Yeah. Some pagans celebrate May 2nd. Okay. I figure most pagan holidays have kind of a margin of a few days. Okay. So yeah, we're recognizing Beltane today, which has been happening the last few days.
And how do you celebrate Beltane?
Well, Beltane is the beginning of summer on the pagan calendar. And so it's really just a celebration of like the joy of summer, and the sun is out, and the trees and the flowers are all in blossom, and there's a lot of, feasting and music, and people have big bonfires. Fire is part of the celebration. And it's a really joyful time. People do Morris dancing. Do you all know about Morris dancers? They wear bells, big jingle bells, strapped to their lower legs. And so when they dance, it just makes this joyful, jingling sound. Oh, and a really important way to celebrate Beltane is the maypole. Dancing a maypole. Have any of you ever danced a maypole? Oh, look there. Oh, a lot of hands up there. You know what that is. It's a pole, and it has ribbons on it. And people take a hold of the ribbons, and they dance around it. And then it weaves together in a really pretty way, and I feel like it kind of signifies community, the way it weaves.
Does it look kind of like this?
Charlotte, it looks exactly like that.
Really? Wow. Well, we just happen to have one.
Wow, that was magical.
I know.
Charlotte just made a maypole appear. Wow, how beautiful it is.
Do you think we could get the kids to dance around the maypole?
Do you guys want to give it a try?
Great. Well,
It's super simple.
Yeah.
It's not a complicated dance.
Do you want to tell them what they need to do? And then we're going to need some music, which we're going to rely on all of you to help. So do you guys want to stand up, and Justine?
Do you want to maybe do it up here?
Oh, maybe we should do it up here. That's a good idea.
You have more open space.
Yeah.
And everybody can see. So yeah, everybody come on up.
And everyone's going to grab one color, or just one ribbon.
Yeah, each person take a ribbon.
Way out, because I'm actually going to be part of the maypole today.
And Carolyn, Carolyn will dance.
Stand kind of far out and hang on. We're going to teach the congregation a little song, and Matthew's going to help too. I'm sorry I don't have the words up there, but I trust that you all will be able to learn this. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Let's try that. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Next part. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, dance round the maypole, today is Beltane. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, dance round the maypole, today is Beltane. Now Matthew's going to help you keep going. Hail to the summer. You guys start walking around in a circle. Hail to the summer, Julia? The cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, dance round the maypole, today is Beltane. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that melts the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, dance round the maypole, today is Beltane. We're going to dance out. You keep singing for us. Hail to the summer. Follow me. Hail to the summer. Season that melts the cold winter away. Hail to the summer. Hail to the summer. Dance round the maypole. Today is Beltane. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, the season that drives the cold winter away. Hail to the summer, hail to the summer, dance round the maypole, today is Beltane. You guys did great, thank you.
Give me a moment, everyone here. Transitioning. We're going to still be talking about Beltane, but I'm going to need my glasses for this. So give me a moment. Hello. So as you know, I'm Justine, as I like to say, your friendly neighborhood pagan, and I am, as always, really happy to be here to share a little something about these seasonal festivals. So as we talked about just a little bit here with the kids, so Beltane is celebrating the beginning of summer, and it's back at spring equinox. It was a lot about new life, right? We had the buds of the flowers starting to come up. We had the chicks, hatching out of the eggs. So here we are celebrating the fullness of summer. Those things that were little buds are now full blooms. Those birds that were just hatching out of the eggs are sometimes now fledging from the nests, right? Going to fly on their own. Have any of you been following the eagle cam? The eagles in Big Bear. Speaking of fledging, they were these tiny little fluffy things not very long ago, and it's a camera, if you don't have a camera, so you can watch the eagles in their nest, and they now are huge. They're in that sort of awkward teenage phase, right? They still have some of the fluffy feathers, but the other feathers are coming in, and they're getting ready to fly for the first time. So as the pagan wheel of the year turns, so do the days of our lives. As the wheel turns, we come around to Beltane, and we know that it's a joyful welcoming in of summer and feasting and dancing the maypole and the Morris dancers with their bells. But in hard times, when sorrow sort of feels like it's looming over us, joy can feel like it will never return, like we can't imagine celebrating. But I'd like to share excerpts from On Joy and Sorrow by Khalil Gibran. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. And how else can it be? The deeper that sorrow carves into your being, the more joy you can contain. Is not the cup that holds your wine the very cup that was burned in the potter's oven? And is not the lute that soothes your spirit the very wood that was hollowed with knives? Some of you say, joy is greater than sorrow, and others say, nay, sorrow is the greater. But I say unto you, they are inseparable. Together they come, and when one sits alone with you at your board, remember that the other is asleep upon your bed. Matthew, would you help me just lower this a little? That's great, thank you. I feel like I couldn't see out over. So Beltane is a fire festival. We talked about bonfires. And fire both burns and warms, right? Fire destroys and purifies. The celebratory fires of Beltane then can mirror the inner fires of our sorrow. When so much feels wrong, it can be hard to see where anything's right. For this, I so appreciate our good thing each week, to remind us there truly are people working to make the world better. And we are here to support and comfort each other. And as our birthday blessing says, may you have friends to laugh with you in the good times and cry with you in the hard times. Our outreach partner this month is Transition House. Now, 20 years ago, I had an experience with Transition House. I had just moved back to Santa Barbara from the Bay Area, and when I lived there, I had been performing as a belly dancer. So Transition House welcomed performers to come and offer some entertainment for the family staying there. And I was honored that I could do this. So it was very informal, very, improvised. But the thing that stays with me is how the kids loved afterward trying on some of the scarves and belts and jingly things that I had brought. And like with the Morris dancers, as we mentioned earlier, things that jingle can sometimes fast track us to a little joy. Now, when our Justice and Equity team visited the La Cubina shelter at the Mexican border, they brought food and other necessary items, but they also brought art supplies and coloring books. And no one was surprised that the kids were into this, but many of the grown-ups also really enjoyed coloring and making some art. And so we know, right, doing something creative can be soothing to our souls and can bring us some joy. Now, I don't know about all of you, but I'm a sensitive person. I've always been someone who cries easily. And with the way our hormones tend to shift over time, these days my emotions are often right under the surface, just right there, tears ready to come. Whether it's something sad or tragic, or something beautiful or touching. There was a Kleenex commercial on TV, for goodness sake, that has brought me to tears. But even at my level of sensitivity, when things are terrifying and heart-wrenching, I sometimes just get numb. The tears won't come. Maybe my body thinks it's protecting me, but it's not. I don't want those feelings of fear and sorrow to build up and take root in me. They need an outlet. So I'm a believer in finding a good cry. Watch a sad movie or a deeply touching one or a Kleenex commercial, whatever works for you. And this sad or touching thing, I find, can cut right to where the tears are and bring them out. What really works for me these days are animal rescue videos. I'm guessing most of you are probably real animal lovers, a lot of us are. They find a poor little dog living in a dumpster, and it's dirty and starving, and I cry because it's so sad. But then they take the dog and they give him good food and love and a bath, and this dog goes on to live with this new family, romping around in their backyard, and then I cry because it's so happy. So I recommend that kind of thing. It can just be so cathartic to get those tears out of you. And a good laugh can do this too, right? It may be tough when things feel so hard, but think of it as necessary self-care. Find something or someone who you know makes you laugh. A movie, a TV show, a stand-up routine on YouTube. Just find something and let yourself have that good belly laugh. It's physically, there's such similar actions, right? Laughing and crying in our bodies, our breath, our voice comes out, our tears, our nose, things come out without the control that we usually put on them. So crying and laughing, dancing together as they do, are cathartic, like those Beltane fires burning through us and leaving us purified. Beltane is the celebration of summer, the fullness of life blooming in all its wild and messy, chaotic beauty. Even in our sorrow, the earth keeps blooming. The wheel of the year keeps turning. The cycle of the seasons means, the cycle of the seasons means that Beltane and other times to celebrate will come along every year and provide us with another chance to dance around the bonfire and embrace the warmth of joy. Blessed be.
I'm going to invite us now into a few moments of meditation, connecting ourselves to that open-hearted place that Justine invited us to reflect on in this season. So take a moment to settle yourself wherever you are, to get in touch with your breath and your body in space, occupying space with all of these other bodies here together. And we're going to work on the opening up that compassion to ourselves and to the world in a modified metta-meditation, followed by singing filled with loving kindness. So begin with just a deep breath, an awareness of the air moving in and out of your body. And start with yourself, your physical self, a place where you might be holding tension. Notice if you're holding it in your shoulders or in your belly, a place where maybe you are feeling some pain or discomfort. And say to that place, may ease and compassion find a way in. Breathe in and out into that compassion and extend now your heart out to someone you know who is struggling, who is going through a hard time, an illness, an addiction, a heartbreak, a loss. And as your breath moves in and out of your body, say to this person, may ease and compassion find a way in. Continue to breathe in wider and wider circles out into our community here near us in Santa Barbara, a place where you know there is fear or trouble, families trying to survive, folks in a shelter seeking respite from the streets, a veteran center trying to heal old wounds. These places right here nearby, down the street, around the corner. And as breath moves in and out of your body, say to this place, may ease and compassion find a way in. And keep opening our hearts wider now, wider as we can to this whole nation, knowing that there are people suffering, incarcerated, detained, and deported, LGBTQ folks trying to find safety and support, families struggling to put food on the table. We know all of this exists. And so as we breathe in and out, we say to our whole wider nation, may ease and compassion find a way in. And finally, we remember that our world is one world, and we let compassion flow from this sanctuary like 1,000 shimmering threads out into every place where hearts have been hardened and fear and violence have taken root. We hold the children hungry in Gaza, the Ukrainian families sheltering from bombs, the places we know and the places that are unknown to us but are connected nonetheless. And as our breath moves in and out of our body, we say, may ease and compassion find a way in. Let us take a few more intentional breaths together, breathing in and out into that expanded heart, bringing compassion into you with each breath in, and exhaling compassion to the world with each breath out. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Let us sing together right where you are, filled with loving kindness. It's a simple song. First we sing to ourselves, and then we sing to each other. Number 1031 in the teal hymnal, or the words on the screen.
A portion of this month's offering goes to Transition House. Thanks to the generosity of USSB and the wider Santa Barbara community, Transition House continues its vital mission, providing real solutions to family homelessness. Focusing on families with children and those at high risk of losing housing, Transition House offers a comprehensive 3-stage housing program, wraparound family support services, children's enrichment programs, employment development, and rapid rehousing. Their work transforms lives, one stable home at a time. Thank you for your generosity, and please join me in the affirmation of gratitude and giving. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. service I led was about death and how it shapes the way we live. I have found myself returning to these big questions, the ones that sit at the center of our human experience. And so I want to talk about suffering this morning, not because I have all the answers. I'm talking about suffering because I want us to understand it more deeply. I feel its presence all around me, in the lives of those I love, in the stories in the news, in the quiet of my own heart. And I want us to have something to hold on to, some shared language, some thread of meaning we can trace together. I've been reading the work of theologian and writer Kate Bowler, who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in her 30s. She writes not from the mountaintop, but from the hospital room, the kitchen table, and the edge of what she calls a brutal life, brutal and beautiful all at once. One of her books is titled, Everything Happens for a Reason and Other Lies I've Loved. That title alone holds so much. Our common longing to explain pain, to make it neat, to assign it a purpose so we can live with it. And maybe some suffering isn't something to explain away. Instead of asking why this happened, maybe we ask how we live with what is. How do we live with what hurts, with what's broken? How do we companion one another through pain, not by fixing it, but by witnessing it? And this morning I want to follow that thread, not a thread of certainty, but of connection. What does a Unitarian Universalist theology of suffering look like? One that doesn't glorify pain or deny it, but recognizes it as part of being human and part of the world we're called to love. Suffering asks something of us. It asks us to witness what feels unbearable, to love someone through pain we can't remove, to live with unanswered questions, to admit there's no fairness in it, no deserving, no clean answer. And in a theological context, especially for those of us raised in traditions that speak of divine power, there's often a question hovering beneath the surface. Why would God allow this? Why would this happen to someone good, someone kind, someone who's already suffered enough? Even if we don't believe in that kind of a God, or any God at all, those questions still shape us. They rise up in the hardest moments when we're desperate for meaning, for comfort, for some kind of anchor. A few weeks ago in a service, I invited everyone to hold a rock, something to represent their pain, their grief, or something they were ready to release. And then they exchanged their rock with the neighbors. It was simple, a reminder that we don't have to carry our pain alone. That even when we can't fix what hurts, we can share it. That we can hold one another's burdens, even for just a moment. That too is part of the theology of suffering. Buddhism, a tradition that I often return to, begins right where we are now, with suffering. The first noble truth of Buddhism is dukkha, which is often translated as suffering. It doesn't mean life is only suffering or that joy isn't real. It means life is fragile and that everything always changes. To be alive is to be touched by loss, uncertainty, and longing. It's a way of saying, you're not imagining this. It is really hard sometimes. We suffer because we love, because we get attached. We want things to last, and they don't. We suffer when we lose someone, when we're afraid, and we suffer when we feel helpless in the face of injustice or pain we can't control. But Buddhism doesn't stop at naming suffering. It offers a way to be with it, a way to soften around it instead of resisting it with all our might. The invitation is not to escape what hurts, but to notice it, to breathe with it, to meet it with compassion, not condemnation, to recognize that this too is part of being human. That teaching has helped me a lot. It doesn't make suffering easier, but it removes some of the shame around it. It reminds me that I'm not broken because I feel grief or anger. I'm just alive. And it reminds me that if we all suffer, then it is a way we are all connected. This is a thread that runs through us, a thread of shared humanity. When we know that, we can begin to meet suffering with less avoidance and more compassion. And so if suffering is the thread that runs through us, I think of fire as what suffering often feels like. It burns. It can scorch the ground of your life, leaving everything unrecognizable. Sometimes it smolders quietly. Sometimes it flares up without warning. It consumes what you thought you knew. It forces change you didn't choose. And yet fire isn't only destruction, it is also transformation. Like the seeds of the sequoias and the chaparrals that only open in fire. Their growth depends on the heat. And the fire clears the underbrush, opens the hard shell, and makes space for something new. I don't believe everything happens for a reason, but I do believe this. Sometimes something beautiful can grow in the burned places. Sometimes fire reveals what matters most. It strips away the surface and leaves us with what's real. We may emerge from the suffering changed and not necessarily diminished, perhaps clarified, softened, sometimes made more fiercely loving. And often we are carried through the fire not by our strength alone, but by the thread we hold by the presence of others, by the rituals we return to, and by the hands of our community. Instead of imagining that strength means walking through the fire alone, I've come to believe that real strength is in allowing ourselves to be witnessed there. To let someone see the ash on your hands and the tears in your eyes. Some fires are visible, grief after a loss, a frightening diagnosis, and others burn quietly beneath the surface. Chronic anxiety, invisible illness, old wounds that no one else sees. And in those moments, it's easy to believe that we are the only ones struggling, but we're not. That's the lie suffering is telling us, that we are alone, that no one else has been scorched or broken open or made raw by life. The truth is, we have all walked through some kind of fire. And some of us are walking through one right now. And so if your hands feel empty, if your voice is shaky, or if the weight of it is way too much for you to carry, you're not alone. Someone near you has felt this too. Someone might be feeling it right now. Which is why we come together, not to pretend we're fine, but to remember we don't have to be. To hold the thread when someone else can't. To keep the fire from consuming the last of the hope. And not all suffering is personal. Some fires rage across whole communities, sparked not by fate or chance, but by systems built to harm. Suffering rooted in racism, in poverty, in colonialism, in climate destruction. Suffering that is predictable because it has been designed that way. To speak honestly about suffering, we cannot only speak of our own. We must speak of the pain experienced by those at the margins, especially when that pain is caused by how the world is structured. This is where the work of Dr. James Cone calls us to attention. Cone was a Black theologian born in 1938 in segregated Arkansas. He grew up under Jim Crow in a community shaped by both resilience and terror, the daily threat of violence, the deep faith of the Black church, and the enduring power of resistance. As he came of age during the Civil Rights Movement, Cone realized that traditional Christian theology, especially as taught in white seminaries, had failed to account for the suffering and lived experiences of Black Americans. So he did something radical. He redefined the very center of Christian theology. He said that any God worth believing in must be found not with the powerful, but with the crucified, with those who are oppressed, excluded, violated, and ignored. Now I'm pausing here because I know everyone in this room does not come from a Christian background or wants anything to do with it. For some, the language of the cross and the crucifixion may feel foreign, irrelevant, or even triggering. But here's why Cone matters, regardless of our theology. He reminds us that suffering is not abstract. It's not neutral. And any meaningful theology, whether it names God or not, must concern itself with the lived experience of the most marginalized. Cone's work insists that if we are going to talk about love, about justice, faith, we have to do so from the ground up, from the place of real human suffering. He drew a powerful connection from the crucifixion of Jesus and the lynching trees of the American South. Not to reinforce doctrine, but to say this: when those in power destroy what they fear, and systems silence those who speak the truth, we must recognize that the sacred lives not apart from that struggle, but within it. Cone's theology is not about worshiping suffering. It's about recognizing where the sacred shows up in the lives of the oppressed, in the work of liberation, and in the courage of those who resist. His message to us as Unitarian Universalists is this: if we want our values to mean something, justice, equity, interdependence, then we must be willing to ask not just why suffering happens, but who is suffering, and what our faith requires of us in response. And that lands hard, especially now. The families being deported without due process, the people sleeping on the ground 2 blocks from City Hall while developers push to build more high-rent apartments, the students organizing protests while facing threats and backlash, the ones who speak the truth and are punished for it. This suffering is not accidental, it is deliberate. And Cone would tell us that theology, if it's worth anything, must be rooted here in solidarity. That the sacred is not a distant judge or a cosmic fixer, but a companion in the fire. A presence in the protest, a breath shared between the grieving and the defiant. We see this theology alive in our world right now. The judges who resist illegal deportation orders, in the reporters who risk safety to tell the truth about what's happening at our borders and at our prisons, and in those who show up. People standing outside detention centers, courthouses, and campuses, not because they can end all suffering, but because they refuse to let it go unseen. And it matters that someone is there. It matters when a rabbi links arms with a student, when clergy shows up at ICE hearings, not to fix, but to witness, to say this will not happen in silence. They say we may not be able to stop the fire, but we can hold the thread. We will hold it together. This is what a theology of suffering calls us to, not to explain or excuse what hurts, but to meet it with compassion and courage, to weave something strong enough to hold us when the world feels like it's coming apart. Love that reaches across difference and says, I'm here, you're not alone. And that kind of strong love is not weak. It is not soft. It is the strongest force I know. And from that love flows the values at the heart of our faith: interdependence, justice, and equity. All of it rooted in love. A love that doesn't avoid the fire. A love that doesn't let go of the thread. This is the theology I'm reaching toward. One that helps us live with what is real. One that says, even here, even now, we are still bound together by something sacred. We may never know why some things happen, but we know this: we are not alone. We suffer. We love. We resist. We accompany. We show up. And maybe in the end, that is our theology. Not a perfect explanation, but our practice. A way of walking with one another through what is hard and holy and still unfolding. Please join me in prayer. Spirit of life, witness to our longing, hold us now in this tender place. May we have the courage to face the fire, to stand beside those who suffer, to speak the truth, even when it shakes our voice. May we have the tenderness to hold the thread, a thread of connection and presence, of love that reaches across pain and distance. Help us to remember that we do not carry it alone, that someone beside us is holding it too, and the thread is stronger than we think. And may we trust even here, even now, that love endures, that justice is a form of love, that every act of compassion stitches the world back together one thread at a time. Amen. May it be so. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our closing song, Lean on Me.
Sometimes in our lives, we
Please remain standing for the benediction. As we go from this place, may we carry with us the courage to face what is hard and the tenderness to hold one another in love. May we walk forward together with hearts open to joy. Go in peace, and may peace go with you. Blessed be, and amen, and let us call out a blessing.